Welcome, my people. Welcome to another video. I don't know if you guys have heard the news, but this is like old news, by the way. But there's leaks or some kind of leaks, I guess you could say. It's some kind of leaks. Um, and and I've heard people talk about this, but I didn't quite understand like what they were talking about. I heard Roofermonger talk about it. Um, I think that's the only guy, but I didn't grasp what he was talking about. I was like, oh, some guy leaked something. Um, but then started to do some investigation, trying to figure out what the heck people were talking about because they're talking about Alex coming back. And I'm a big Alex fan. I mean, I never played him and I never mained him. I kind of tried to, be good with him, but I just never could get the hang of Alex. But I'm still a fan of his. I'm a fan of the way he looks, the way the character design is. So much to the point that like I designed a character similar to him. And I got from different uh, the character design I got from different types of people, like different areas. I got a little bit of George Foreman, a little bit of Cholo Chicano culture, and a little bit of Alex as well. But um so when I heard that Alex is it might be coming to Street Fighter 6 in season 3, I got excited, because maybe this will give me a chance to try and main him and try to actually try to spend some time trying to actually be good with him, because rumor has it that Alex was actually the reason they made him the main character was mainly because the devs, the people that were actually working on the game, knew how to play him so well that he was the number one. He was top tier within people that made the game, which is like the inner circle of the people that made the game. So he was top tier amongst the developers, basically, is what I'm trying to say. And it's partially the main reason I think he kind of sucks, because he was Alex. He's never been top tier. He's been low to mid tier since Third Strike. And I still remember going back. I still go back. Even before I heard the news, I go back to Third Strike and try to see if I could figure out how to be better with him. Um, he definitely has a lot there that could be explored. But when I heard that you know the developers thought that he was the best in Third Strike, it made me think that there's maybe some moves or there's some sauce with Alex that we just don't know about, and the developers kind of keep it a secret in a way to where it's like they kind of wish that people could figure it out, but they know that it's not gonna happen, and that's part of the reason I think, in my personal opinion, I think um, Street Fighter wrestlers or Street Fighter grapplers suck so much is because I think the developers are so good at fighting with grapplers that that they just make them sorry. They just suck. Oh, they don't need that much. If we give them too much, they're gonna be OP. But that's because they know how to play the game so much that grapplers are the way to go for them. Because if you think about it, grapplers, they just wait, block, 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 and then they get an opportunity to grapple, right? Um, and if you're a developer and you know everybody's moves, that's probably gonna be your go-to. It's just a guy who just waits till the opponent's whiffs or something like that, and then he just goes for a big slam or something like that. But this is good news. Now let me tell you a little bit about the leak. Um, so supposedly this one random guy, because I was looking all over for it. I was trying to figure out what the heck people were talking about. And the reason I even started, because at first when I heard about it, I was like, ah, it's just some random guy, whatever, nobody cares. But then when I heard that Alex was one of the guys that was mentioned for season 3, that's when it piqued my interest, because my wish was for it to be, not even my wish, my prediction was that it was going to be Vega, um, Sakura, and some invited character like Cyclops maybe, or even somebody that's in the game already but hasn't been available to play, like for example, Fei Lan, or Mel Masters, the son of Ken Masters, or even a Bosch. Like that's what I was thinking. I was thinking along those lines. But when I heard that there was this guy that predicted about 8 months ago or so, probably 9 now, um, that predicted that in season 2 it was going to be Bison, Elena, Terry, and Mai. He predicted those four. And then he predicted, well, and then he said Alex, Sea Viper, Sagat, and some Filipino fighter. That Street Fighter hasn't had a Filipino fighter, which is crazy. Um, it's crazy because they're pretty good. They're pretty good at fighting. Like they have the Filipino martial arts and stuff like that, and they're good boxers as well. So, but yeah, like when I heard that, I was like, if he predict, like you understand how crazy it is that he predicted M Bison, Elena, um, and Mai Shiranui and Terry Bogard. Like you can't get that lucky, bro. You can't get that lucky to get all of those correct. So I'm thinking that this guy was probably like a dev or something, some kind of developer or somebody that was working on the project, and he just wanted to get it out there, and he just got it out there. Stuff like this has happened before. It has happened before to where people just give out hints and stuff like that, thinking that nobody's gonna listen to them, and then some people do listen, and they're like, all right, this guy got some inside scoop. And I think that that's the case because you can't just get 4 characters correct like that. So judging by that guy, I'm hopeful that Alex will be in season 3. I think if Alex comes back in season 3 of Street Fighter 6, I think it's gonna bring a lot of people back. Um, the game's already pretty freaking popular. Akuma brought a lot of people back, and I think Alex is one of those characters that can bring a lot of people to the table, right? So I personally can't wait. I hope Alex is coming back in season 3. Is one of the ones that's coming back in season 3. I think, to be honest, the leak is way better than my personal list that I made. I think the only thing good for my list, looking back at it, was Cyclops. But I think this leak is probably the best possible outcome if you really start to think about it. If it's gonna be Alex, Sea Viper, and Sagat, those 3 off the bat, those 3 are heavy hitters and heavy sellers. Those 3 picks are gonna get you a lot of money. And if I mean let's be honest, this is a business. You get those 3 in, man, you're gonna be hitting them out of the park for sure. And like I said, I'm a real big fan of Alex. I like his style. I like his character design. I think it's, in my personal opinion, probably one of the best character designs in the history of Street Fighter. And that's saying a lot because they have some good shit, especially in Street Fighter 6, all the redesigns that they've made. And I can't wait to see what they do with Alex in Street Fighter 6, like how they gonna redesign him. He has to look, you know, better. Now, of course, I'm always gonna like the Third Strike original design even more than the design for Street Fighter 5. Which, by the way, if anybody can help me, because I need to practice with Alex, and I downloaded Street Fighter 5 again just strictly to play with Alex. But I can't get my hands on him for some reason. I don't know what pack I need to buy, or if I could buy just that one character, that would be better for me personally. Instead of having to buy a whole pack. But yeah, let me know in the comments if you guys can help me with that. But having said that, let's move. Oh, the other thing I was gonna say, the only thing I don't like about Alex is his stance. His stance, dude. Like, what are you doing with this stance? Like, it looks like he's turning his back or something, like he's trying to run, but then the top part of his body is still facing the opponent. So I'm trying to figure it out. Like, what are you doing, dude? Look like he's reaching for your balls with his lead hand. I don't know what's happening here. But anyways, moving on. C Viper. Believe it or not, man, I don't know a lot about C Viper. I never played Street Fighter 4. I've never put my hands on the game, so I couldn't tell you the first thing about C Viper. Um, I don't know what she does, how you play her. I don't know anything about her. I know that she's a spy, and about the only thing I know about her is what we heard on Street Fighter 6. And I know that's kind of crazy that I didn't play. I never played Street Fighter 4, but I wasn't doing a lot of video game playing in those times. Um, and so yeah, I missed the whole C Viper thing, but I do know that she's very popular, and I do know that a lot of the people always talking about bringing her back and hoping that she comes back. Um, I think she wasn't in Street Fighter 5. And I'm thinking that the main reason she wasn't on there is because I think that the developers there wanted to kind of save her for Street Fighter 6. So yeah, I don't really know that much about her. Um, I think I saw a couple of like, because there's a movie. It's really bad, by the way, but it's a movie for Street Fighter 4, and she's in it, and she's a bit of an asshole. But that's about it. I really don't know that much about her. So moving on to Sagat, which would be another zoner. I think in the game as we speak right now in Street Fighter 6, we only have two zoners, like pure zoners, and it would be Willie, right? Will or Guile, whatever you want to call him. Guile, right? Guile. That's how you pronounce it. Guile. And JP. So and JP is like probably the main zoner in the game, and I think what's his face, Dawson, right? So Dawson, JP, and yeah, it's only three of them, right? So we need at least one more zoner, and I think Sagat is gonna be crazy. He's gonna be probably the best zoner. He's gonna definitely be the next zoner that's gonna step in to show us how to do it. Um, so yeah, 'cause like for example, like grapplers, when it comes to Alex, we do have three grapplers, right, and we do have three zoners. So, and when it comes to Shotos, I mean, we got Ryu, Ken, Terry Bogard is a bit of a zoner himself. I mean, not zoner, Shoto, and what's his face, Luke. Right. So those that's a lot. That's a lot of Shotos, by the way. Um, and but and also people say some are not Shotos, some are. I think Luke and Terry Bogard are Shotos. In my opinion. And Sagat, even though he has a lot of Shoto type things going on. I think he's more of a zoner, in my opinion, because just he's always been too strong when it comes to his zoning. His zoning has always been just he's kind of like an extreme, I guess you could say an extreme Shoto, kind of like for example, um, Akuma, who I didn't mention with the Shotos. There's like 5 Shotos, right? Akuma is a Shoto, but his fireball game is just so good that you can kind of see him as a zoner. Um, and I feel like Sagat kind of falls in the same um, category as that, kind of like an extreme Shoto that falls into um, zoner range. But yeah, he's gonna be pretty cool. I can't wait to see his redesign. I remember when I first saw Bison, I thought that it was Sagat. It did really look like Sagat, but um, and so yeah, I mean, we all know how he got the scar. There's a whole bunch of history behind Sagat. I actually have the Origins comic book. I haven't read it yet, but I just flipped through the art. And supposedly he let himself get beat by Dan because he had so much respect for his father, who actually um, was the one who caused that injury in his eye. So Sagat has a lot of injuries, caused by different fighters. One, the scar in his chest is was caused by Reeve. Um, and yeah, so can't wait to see him return. We're just gonna have to see what happens. And last but not least, the Filipino fighter. Now I got some ideas with the Filipino fighter, right? And I think if Capcom is smart, Street Fighter, the devs are smart. They'll make this guy have multiple weapons. Like it would be cool if he's like a melee style combative guy. Because if you know anything, the Filipinos have a martial arts called what is it called? Eskrima. I don't know if it's Eskrima. I think Eskrima is a Spanish one, but their version of it is called Kali. I remember now, Kali. And it's kind of like Eskrima, but it's more. The weapons are a little bit more Asian, right? So they have nunchucks, they have fighting sticks, they have knives, and they have machetes and stuff like that. And I mean, that would be perfect, dude. That would be a perfect type of Street Fighter, similar to what's his face, with the bombs in Alpha. I forgot his name. Rolento. Right. So it'll be kind of like a Rolento type of guy. And they'll be doing Filipino martial arts. And the reason I got Danny Inosantos is because he used to know Bruce Lee, and he was the one that taught Bruce Lee how to use the nunchucks. So I mean, we could just have like a guy, like a Filipino guy that has a bunch of like weapons in like his vest or something, and he just pulls out a knife and does a move, and then he throws it away, and then he puts out some nunchucks and starts doing some more moves. Then he gets some fighting sticks and hits you with those. I think Filipino martial arts are pretty cool, man. And if you go, I do recommend for you guys to go look at some Filipino martial arts and look at Danny Dos Santos move with the fighting sticks and the knives and shit. And you guys are gonna see how cool it is. Even look at what Bruce Lee used to do with his nunchucks. Danny Dos Santos taught him how to do that. That's all Filipino martial arts. So I think if they're gonna do that, man, I'm all for it. And he's gonna be pretty cool. He's gonna be a pretty cool character. So, anyways, if this is true, if this leaks are true, and that's what we're gonna get, I think it's perfect. I think it's better than my idea. Just throw in Cyclops as that as that number 4. I mean, as the number 5 DLC, kind of like a visitor or whatever. And I'm pretty much good. But yeah, guys, let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you're happy with the leaks, if you think that the leaks are legit or that they're not legit. I personally think they are legit. Um, and I think that that's a good 4. I think it's gonna be a good 4 um, fighters for season 3, and I can't wait. So let me know what you guys think, guys. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will catch you guys later.